See you again. How are you?
I'm super excited to be here. I think last time it was so cool. I got so many messages about great feedback and stuff. I'm charging my computer, so I'm gonna just set it up here, play in the kitchen for now. But
Perfect.
how are you guys? How's Japan? I know that you guys have been like going all over the world, which is just, like unreal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's it's been awesome. With this last trip, or these last 2 weeks were a big surprise. I mean, we were totally planning on going home 2 weeks, a week and a half ago, but then a typhoon messed up a flight, which messed up another flight, and so in order to not pay $3,000, we had to stay. I decided to stay longer, and Nick did too, and then now Nick's going to China Kendama Open, so he'll be staying
Yeah.
here even
Oh,
longer.
hell yeah, that was up.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
which is actually gonna be a stacked comp. Like it's gonna be like a stacked comp. It's like who's going?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Maharu and Ryoga are gonna go. Takia's going. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Yang's gonna be there. Tomonari. Yeah, they're just a lot more stacked than usual. So I'm excited to go see it and go capture a lot of stuff for it. And yeah, I'm just really pumped for the opportunity. I'm here in Japan until September 29th now, so pretty
Mhm.
long, but
Mhm.
we're making it work. It's happening, so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. I was going to go to ATLO also, but yeah, now I can't. But
I mean, I feel like that's a worthy switch off, especially just like you guys have representation at both of the events, which is
yeah.
awesome. Also, Zach, I didn't know you were going to ATLO. I'm not gonna lie. Once I found out you did, I started practicing a little more than I normally do. Um, I have like I kind of keep players as benchmarks. Like I know that Kelvin beat me at the beginning of the year, but I progressed a lot. I think I have
Uh,
what it takes to beat him now. I lost to Alex Mitchell at OVKO, but I did reset the bracket, so I have no more confidence there. But I've
yeah.
never played you, so I have no idea what to expect. So that was a little intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm really looking forward to potentially facing you.
Likewise, dude. Yeah, likewise. These tricks. I took a look at the tricks because I didn't decide I was going until like pretty late. It was pretty recent. And I looked at the top eight tricks. I was like, holy crap! Like, oh my
Not
god.
only not only the difficulty, but the sheer number of them. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
compared to Tower Cup, I think it's like twice as long as the list, which is
Yeah.
just like
I looked at the trick. I was like, oh my god.
yeah, some of them are crazy. A lot of them, like one of them that was surprisingly hard for me was the spacewalk inward lunar.
Hmm.
It's, I'm
Mm.
not used to doing it, so just getting used to the flip motion was a little funky for me. And then getting the taps after that, whenever I do it, I get the string in the way. So just like trying to find a way to move it out of the way it's been weird for me. But I mean, I can do a majority of the tricks, so I'm not necessarily all that worried. It's
Yeah.
just knowing other people are going to be better than me at it. That's what gets me going.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be an awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of great players going to that event, so I'm excited to go too. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
dude,
it'll be
I'm so
great.
excited.
Yeah.
I was going originally with the intention of facing Alex and Kelvin again. So now there's another person to look forward to facing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna
yes.
be awesome, dude. I mean, you even us talking about it right now motivates me to practice more, also. So
Oh yeah, that's what's up.
I'll definitely be putting some even more reps in now. So yeah, well, Miguel, I mean, thanks again for coming on. It's always a
Dude,
pleasure to talk to
I'm
you.
happy
And
to be here. Yeah, because like I was telling my friends, I'm gonna use this as like one of those like MMA pre-fight conferences where I just like call out players for events. So like any
yeah,
Japanese players going to NACO know that I'm practicing twice as hard as you are. Uh, is anyone going to ATLO? Every time you go through the list, I'm going through it 3 times. It's
Yes.
one cool event that I have in my calendar right now, but I'm so excited to compete again. It's only been like 2 weeks since I went to not the Windy City, the Tower Cup Open,
yeah,
and I had to leave early. I didn't get to compete in freestyle, which was such a
yeah.
bummer.
That's what I
I
heard.
saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a red eye flight there and a red eye flight back, like back to back.
Oh,
Because I had an internship presentation, like
Yeah.
to finish it all off, and I wanted to prep and I wanted to be like have good sleep before.
yep.
It was such an awful decision. I should have just spent a couple more bucks and flew through like the morning. But it was awesome to just compete there once again. I reset the bracket and then beat Joe, which is
Wow.
felt so good. Um, if you count the online EKC, I'm at 10 podiums in a row, but
Mhm.
ATLO will be 10 in-person podiums in a row.
Yeah,
So that's something that I really, really, really want.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been on my mind constantly. It was like one of the biggest stretches that I had when I was facing Joe and like when I was facing Casey as well. Like for third.
Yep.
It's just having to convince myself like it's not that important, it's not that important, it's not that important. Because I was super nervous when I was thinking about like if I fuck this up, if I fuck up this trick, it's over. Like I gotta restart from the very beginning.
Oh,
So just trying to switch out my mindset from that to just like this is just a normal match, like a Lock Studios friendly open division thing. And
Yeah.
that helped a bit, but I was still stressing, I'm not gonna lie.
The you're talking about in person, right? At the
Yes, Tower Cup. Yeah, because
yeah.
I was trying to pretend like I'm like online in my kitchen playing, compared to stressing about a bunch of strangers around me that I've never met before cheering me on. I'm not gonna lie, that stresses me out.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's if we end up talking about 303, I can elaborate more on that. It's the same issue that I had at XLC as well. I get really nervous in front of crowds that I'm like
Mm.
surrounded by. It's like LVKO. I didn't know a lot of people there, but they weren't right next to me and I couldn't hear them directly because I was just kind of zoned out up there. So like
Right.
when I was freestyling, I didn't really worry about anything. But at SLC, like I was the first match and I lost just because like there's so many other people cheering for my opponent, Luke. And I had no idea who they were. So
Yeah.
303, I was introducing myself to way more people. Same thing in Windy City, just to like realize I don't need to be scared of these people. They're probably just here to cheer me on. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
so that was tough. Take that first loss sucks so much at SLC. It was awful, and then I ended up losing again to Luke.
We're just recap. We're
Wait,
rapid fire recapping these
hold on.
shots right
I'm sorry. What competition is this again? Sorry. Which
This
one
is Salt Lake City. He beat
Okay.
me first match, and then he beat me in the Open Division finals, and then I beat him in the freestyle final. No, freestyle quarterfinals, I think.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely recap. I mean, I definitely want to talk about your comp experience in the past, couple months since you've been on this podcast
Mhm.
since March. You've gone to quite a handful of comps, and since
Yeah.
then, a handful of comps in 5 months is a lot. I think you went to four in person, and I know you competed on the online EKC and you won
Yeah.
that. So I think that's gonna be 5 comps. You started out with LVKO. Yeah, let us know about LVKO a little bit because you faced Alex in the finals in both divisions. You finished second place, pro, freestyle, and open. How was that whole event
That kept
experience?
me up. That kept me up. I was so upset with myself for losing to him. Especially after resetting the bracket. He's a beast. He's like a huge inspiration of mine. But it sucks to know that I was that close to beating him. I
Mhm.
don't know how many events he's won in a row now in Open Division. But I know that he beat me in 2023 at CKC, and I don't think he's lost Open Division since then, that he's competed in. So just
Mhm.
knowing that the streak might have started with me, I wanted to end it so bad, but I wasn't able to. That's like one of the main reasons why I want to go to ATLO. And I don't know if anyone's gonna like send this clip to him, but like, I love his style. I love how good of a competitor he is. I want to beat him so bad. Like I
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
he's a great player. I think the tricks that he lands are a lot harder than me, but I think that the gap in our competitive play styles is a lot smaller than just like the tricks that we like post to Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think I can catch up. The only way that I can really tell is if I face him once again, hopefully in the finals of ATLO. But yeah, only time can tell. But yeah, I
Yeah.
also lost to him in freestyle, which also sucked. Just because I thought I didn't think I had it, but I kept on trying yanks. I don't think I tried it at 303, but I kept on trying yanks, and I can only do yanks if my legs are like completely extended. I don't know
Oh,
why. Maybe it's because like I'm more casual about it. But when I bend my legs and stuff, I can't get the right like pull down. It's
Oh
really
wow.
weird. Okay, I can do with those, but
Wow.
these ones feel like the margin of error on these feels a lot larger than it would for a normal yank spike. I don't know if it's because I can track the base get better or not, but yeah, I don't know. I couldn't land any yanks, so I stopped doing them in freestyle. I can final couple seconds of every event that I've competed in. I think I've landed a yank spike just because it's typically the first rounds. I just huck one up, huck one down,
yeah.
hope for the best. If I land it, I land it. Looks pretty good, but I don't know. I was pretty bummed though not being able to land any of them and spending so much time. And I think this is an issue that I had in another event as well. But I ended up winning all of them. I think I've won all the freestyles that I've competed in since then.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it would. Yeah, you have, and who knows what would have happened at the Tower Cup freestyle if you were able to compete in that. I mean, so and also, yeah, it's real quick, just for people listening. Yeah, Miguel's gone to Las Vegas Kendama Open in April, Salt Lake City in Utah in June, then 303 KO, which is an event in Colorado in also June, and then Tower Cup just a couple weeks ago in Illinois next to Chicago. So Miguel's been going to quite a few comps in the past couple of months, and he's actually been able to get podium finish at all of them. So most of them being a double podium. Actually, who knows? Yeah, again, Tower Cup would have been maybe would have been a double podium as well. Just you weren't able to freestyle. So he's either finished first or second at all of these comps in both pro and pro freestyle and open divisions. So Miguel has had been on a. We were just talking about Alex's streak of him, winning open divisions, but I mean, and his success. But you've been on quite a streak yourself, and you talking about being stressed out is interesting to me because of this consistent success that you've had. I want to kind of dive into that more a little bit, that kind of the stress factor, because you do say these crowds, this is what actually causes you more stress, but you've been able to from the outside looking in conquer every single time. Not first place every single time, but you're up there every single time. So obviously something doing something right.
I think
yeah.
a majority of the stress comes from restarting the streak. I just don't want to restart. I know that I can do well, but I've gotten so far that I just don't I really don't want to restart. It's taken me a whole year of going to every event that I can, and I know that it's not only going to be expensive, but it's going to be it's going to be a lot of time that I'm going to have to dedicate to that. So it's nice knowing that all the effort that I put in has just like completely paid off, like the double podiums, the freestyles, specifically the freestyles, just like how much better I've gotten as a competitor and as a player in general. Like a lot of people can't really tell how much I've improved because I kind of do the same kind of trick like every day. But I can land these tricks really consistently. If I'm filming TikToks, it takes me like a minute now compared to a couple minutes before. A lot of it's just like, okay, I didn't like the specific angle, let me refilm it, or like the trees are kind of silly in the background, let me go to like a blank wall instead. So now I've gotten a lot more comfortable with filming. I still hate grinding tricks out, like I genuinely despise it. I'm not, that's like I only have one edit, and that's the lock edit. So I don't think people should expect another one from me anytime soon. I also created another account called Stink Left Foot, just to post like silly stuff on. I have a lot of drafts that I haven't posted yet, but I'm probably gonna post more like kind of mini vlogs from my events instead of having them like on my main page.
Nice.
I'm kind of going off on a huge tangent, but going back to stress. What was the question? Sorry, I went on a huge tangent.
I ended up asking about stress. We started talking about stank left foot.
The pipeline is real.
But yeah. So I mean, you did mention we were talking about stress a little earlier, and you had mentioned like, okay, well, if we go to talk about 303 KO, we'll go more into that. I mean, I was just wondering. So despite the stress, what are some tips you can give players, or what works really well for you and to handle these nerves? Because it's nice to know that you have them. Like people are wondering, like, how is Miguel so honed? I mean, you admitting that, you saying that, kind of is so relatable because it's like it means like you're human. Maybe some people think you're a total robot because of the success, but you have the nerves. What works really well for you in managing them?
I kind of disregard the crowd like completely. Like I think at Chicago, I was pretty comfortable with the crowd there because the whole lock team was there, so I was able to like. One of the tricks was like I think it was stunt fast, jug stunt fast. So I say things like Casey gave me some tips, just kind of like take the edge off of me, kind of like throw a joke in every once in a while. But like what I wanted to talk about at 303 was I wholeheartedly believe that Joe easily could have won the freestyle in that final round. I don't know if there's any footage of it, but I totally shit the bed in that second half. I don't think I landed a single trick in the final like 20 seconds. And I don't know if Joe felt the pressure too, but the same thing happened to him. Had he landed just a couple more tricks, I think he would have had it. So that right there was a huge motivator for me to actually start practicing and making sure that I can not think about the crowd whatsoever. I don't think I've competed in freestyle since then. So Chicago would have been the first time I would really able to like actually practice that. So I was a bit bummed that I wasn't able to. I was even more bummed to find out that Gino won and I couldn't face him. Just knowing that so we wanted to face each other so bad and open, and then someone else knocked him out. So like I don't know what it is about the solo team, but I want to face all of them so bad. They're all such good competitors. like when I think of the top performing competitors in the country, the first team that pops into my mind is the Soul team. Because like
Yeah.
open, they're constantly up there. Freestyle, they're constantly up
Mm.
there. There's not very many speed ladder events, but even when there is, they're up there.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Okay, going back to stress, I keep on going off on these crazy tangents. Okay, how do I deal with my stress? I disregard the crowd to like the fullest extent. Like I got real scared during 303. Another thing is just deep breaths. I think it was Ben Harold. This is like 2017. He told me to just like visualize the tricks. Like just like stare at your dama for a second, think about the trick and how you're gonna land it, and then go for it. Don't just like rush into it. There are some times I'm reviewing footage and I'm like, I totally rushed into that. I have no idea how I made it. Like it works for some people, it works for it doesn't work for some. But just kind of taking your time and treating it like a normal sesh. I don't know if this is necessarily nerves or anything, but sometimes I don't know if you guys do this too, but I use my knees like crazy when I compete. Like I go all the way down to the ground. Like I'm not a frame, but I go
Yeah.
all the way down and I like exaggerate every single movement. I noticed that Joe Nelson did that too when I was competing against him in open. Like we were just exaggerating every single movement, but it would make everything so much slower and allow us to actually control it. But by the end of open at Tower Cup, I couldn't move my legs. Like it was so bad squatting up and down so much. It was the same issue that I had at Soca Royale. Like in freestyle, I was struggling to get up in the middle of my runs just because I'd go down and then I'd have to focus on like standing up instead of doing a trick.
Yeah.
So I had leg pain for like a week just from how hard I was pushing myself that time.
Wow.
Luckily, Joe let me sleep on the bed after that because I won. But the day before that, I slept on the floor, and that might have something to do with it. But
Yeah.
overall, I think just taking your time and slowing everything down, focusing on yourself and only yourself. Don't focus on your competitor. That's something that I have an issue with too. Something I do to not stress over me missing a trick is if I miss a trick in my head, I lost the point. So if they miss it, then awesome, I get another chance. But if they make it, it's great. That's what I already expected. So like if I miss it, I'm immediately getting my mind prepared for the next trick. And if not, it's just kind of like a mindset reset. Like, okay, pretend that other it didn't matter. I still got another chance. He misses too. He's probably not good at the trick either. This is like pretty even on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also said as well when you were, trying to get to know more players, it actually helped you when you're, I think you said 3-0, 3KO. You were open about going around and getting to know people because you said in earlier competition it might have stressed you out a little bit more.
It's intimidating when you don't know people around you, especially when you're cheering for other people. If you talk to them before, like if you like can players bond real easily, so you talk to them for like a minute or two, and then they're going to be cheering for you when you're actually competing. So that's something that like I kind of did. I was just going around talking to people, trying out different setups, letting other people try my setups. I was just like freestyling, and then people would talk to me. They're like, "Damn, you're pretty good. Like, who are you?" Because a lot of people there like didn't know who I was. So then we'd get to chatting, and then when it came to open division, I was doing really well. But then when it came to freestyle and I was hearing everyone like started erupting, like when I think it was Brad, it was the MC. He was like, "Come on, everybody!" Like start cheering. I almost want to be like, "No, like please, just keep it quiet, let me focus." But yeah, it varies. I don't think I set up any external pressure on myself when I think of like, "Oh, I talked to this guy, now I got to win it because I told him I was going to win." That's not how I think. I think it's just for me to not only get to know other players, but to think like there's one more friend in the crowd and one person that wants to see me lose.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So at these events, so if it's a crowd, is it really the crowd that kind of makes you like a little bit nervous, or is it really just the people in the crowd cheering for the other person?
I don't think it's a cheering for the other person. I think it's even more motivating.
Okay.
That's a great question because I feel like some of the ways that I worded it made it seem like I was kind of like, okay, I needed people to cheer for me instead of for them. But I don't know. I think it's just knowing who's in the crowd. Like I'd rather know everyone in the crowd and have them all cheering against me than not know anyone in the crowd and have them all cheering for me.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think I'm just wondering how do you think you would based off this information, how do you think you would do at some competition like EKC? Because there's 500 people there cheering. You like it's not like
there is a
no
stage.
the crowd is there because it's loud. Like it's loud.
There's a stage though, and at the stages like at LVKO, CKC, I've been able to basically just block everyone out. No matter how loud they
Okay.
get, no matter how loud the music is, there's no one in my immediate peripheral vision.
Right.
Whereas at like 303, there's people all around me. Like luckily at that point, I knew a majority of them, but there was still a ton of people surrounding me. So you'd have the audio coming from all directions rather than just having a wall blasting you from one side.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't know if that, like just hearing it from one side is what helps me, but being able to, like, let's say, look at the side, stage is here. There's not that many people. It's like the DJ there. So like you're only going to be seeing the DJ. That's just kind of the approach that I'd take, from just looking to the side, or really not focusing on the crowd, seeing it as more of like a background rather than like real people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Totally
I
get
would love to compete at UKC. In
Yeah.
front of 500 people, that sounds awesome.
Are you planning on going to any international events next year?
Hopefully, yes. I did want to go to Catch and Flow, but I heard that there was some like changes in the timeline, so I'm probably not going to be able to go. Or obviously because there's like, not going to be a Catch and Flow this year.
Yeah.
So I really want to go to more international events. I want to try out the KWC format really badly.
Yeah.
I've got some, like, I was able to set up a qualifying run. I think it was only like 90 points, but like I was able to set it up, and I feel pretty confident. And like now I know that what I land is like in my kitchen, I can land on stage thanks to like my freestyle practice
Yep.
and division practice. So I really want to compete over there, not only to just compete in front of so many people, but to beat the Europeans. Like, I don't know what it is about international competition, but it makes me so patriotic. I just really want to compete.
Yeah.
Abroad.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and just to touch on the catch and flow aspect there. Yeah, there's no more catch and flow like you said, but I actually just got an update yesterday. The next freestyle competition is going to be next year in November. So I know it's a ways out, but yeah, you can start planning for that. I would love to see you at.
I mean,
you
we'll
there.
see.
But yeah, it's going to be cool. I think it's new rules too. It's going to be at KWC they kind of demonstrated it, but it's pretty much you get a couple minutes each and you just kind of go until you miss. And then if you miss, you have to go out and the other person comes in. And then you get more points if you just like lace a trick before you miss and step out. It's just kind of easier. It's just kind of chance for more points.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like I'd want to try that out in competition before I'd go abroad.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I feel like the KWC thing, I'd totally be down just because it's set. But the new freestyle format would be something that I want to try. Like maybe not necessarily like domestically, but it's something I want to try before I do it on such a big stage.
Right.
Yeah, we can send you a video of like a raw match to kind of
awesome.
to help better explain the rules too. There's a video, we have all videos of the freestyle matches that went down at KWC there, so we can send you one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How do you practice for? Okay, well, actually, first of all, before I ask these questions about how you prepare for freestyle and open, how frequently are you playing kendama per week? How many hours of kendama do you play per week nowadays?
I know the last time we talked, it was like 4 hours or some ridiculous number. I don't really have that kind of time anymore. Over the summer, I think I played, not including weekly jams, because the weekly jams I would go to, actually I would include the weekly jams since like the average, just add like an hour per week. I want to say it was more like 4 hours a week, with the majority of it being on the weekends. I did an internship this summer, and I worked with an international team, so I had meetings like throughout the whole day. So I didn't really have any time to like truly get warmed up, start session. A lot of the time when I would play, it would be to either go through a Quizlet of tricks for an upcoming competition, or just filming TikToks. So I don't play as much anymore. Now that school's starting and me and Fabian are looking to set up the SJSU Ken Club, I'm sure we're going to be playing a hell of a lot more. Like I've already been playing like more like an hour a day. So we're already gonna be like 3 hours above a week when it comes to comparing to the summer. But yeah, I don't play as much as I used to, and I don't know how I feel about it because I feel like I'm still progressing a lot. I don't know if it's because I'm just not beating up my legs every day anymore. That probably has something to do with it. And no, I don't really do it yank spikes anymore, but at least not to the crazy extent that I used to before. I stopped because my elbow would be like in a lot of pain, like battle of the border. I think like the first 3 or 4 events of the year, like I would just do a ton of yanks before, just because I love doing yanks so much. I don't know if I have like a bad elbow or something, but it made it hurt. Probably because I use like 90-gram setups, which is why I use 70-gram setups now.
Wow.
We can touch on that later when we talk about setups. But yeah, let's say 7 hours during the school year, 4 hours during breaks.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So wait. So you say 7?
Like a week.
Yeah, so like 7 a
7
week.
hours a week, and then 7 hours a week, and then 4 hours a week during breaks, or 4 hours a day during breaks.
4 hours a week. So I play less during breaks. I typically
Okay.
have a lot more stuff going on during break.
Okay.
I don't really focus on structuring on my schedule. Whereas in the school year, I have everything planned out. Like I asked you guys for a calendar invite prior to the
Yeah.
prior to the podcast. That's because I structure up my days. So if I have free time, I'll play there, and I typically have more free time then, rather than just meeting with my friends over the summer and being like, "Hey, let's hang out." We do absolutely nothing for like 4 hours, and then we do something. There's just a lot more time or a lot less time to actually set up like an actual sesh. Like if I'm with my friends at my place, I'll pick up a can, I'll do like a triple roll, and then I'll put it down, and then we just like go to the mall or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I like to ask that question just because to give people like kind of just some knowledge of how. I mean, what I believe honestly, the foundation of preparing for a competition isn't even the trick specific comps. I think it's honestly just how much you play first and foremost. To
I
a certain
agree.
degree, of course, like you have the foundation now when you put in a lot of time before, and now even though you're playing less, I mean, all that skills built up, right? And so now more
Yeah.
trick specific, but that's what I believe to be the foundation of all improvement, just being able to play as frequent as possible. So,
I
but
think even
before,
20 minutes
oh yeah.
can be like a maintenance time to make sure that I don't get worse over time.
Hmm.
And even those 20 minutes, I can just like, okay, I can still triple flip juggle, I can still do goon circles. Whereas an hour would be, okay, I'm warmed up, I can still do all these tricks, let me learn a new one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, totally. For comp specific practice, Miguel, I mean, you
Mhm.
obviously do really well in open and freestyle, but what is some comp specific practice you do for open division? How do you prepare?
Quizlet.
Quizlet.
I set up flashcards. Yeah, I haven't done it for ATLO just because it's such a long list. But for all the other events, I've set up Quizlets. I think it was LBKO one. I shared a Quizlet with everyone. And a lot of the people that use it almost beat me. So I made the executive decision to not share the Quizlets for the other events that I've competed in. Just because I realized that while I am bettering all the competition, I don't want to do that until after I lose my streak. And then after that, I'll start creating public Quizlets. But yeah, I really don't want to restart my streak. But
Oh my god.
yeah, just re-walk in, just repeatedly going through the trick list like randomly before I start using Quizlet for competitions. I would either not practice at all, which sometimes work. Last time I talked about how that was the best for me because for Battle of the Board I practice too much. I've kind of found my sweet spot. I just go through the list once or twice randomly. I don't go through it like all at a time because like when I'm actually competing, I'm expecting the next trick, and then I get my mindset in the wrong place. Whereas using Quizlet, like random generator, I don't know what I'm going to face next, and I have the same idea like, okay, this trick is out. I could take like let's say the goon tech out of my head, and I can focus solely on let's say juggles and taps or lunars, whatever trick is left.
Yeah.
Uh, Freestyle, it's just time. I think that's what I do the most for competitions. I don't really go through the list all that much. I go through like once or probably more like 4 times actually. I guess it does sound like a lot, but I normally just like I do it once and then I move on to the next trick instead of I know some people do like 3 times in a row. I find it kind of boring, so I just do one at a time and then I go through the list throughout the day and I just do freestyle the whole day. I think it gets me in the groove of things. It gets me warmed up. Like I mentioned before, I really exaggerate my movements when I'm competing in open, and the freestyle just like gets my blood flowing.
Okay, so for open, you don't do 3 times in a row.
Mhm.
But it sounds like you do the list, but you go put it through a Quizlet, so you don't exactly know what trick you're going to face next. And so you say you do the list about 1 to 2
Mhm.
times per day, or whenever you feel like it.
I say on average per day because there's some days like not necessarily this like in the past couple months, but there is sometimes what event was it? It might have been SoCal Royale, but with Joe, I was going through it with him like 3 times a day. like on average, because there's like a point system to incentivize us to practice that Danny set up, so they win free setups. So me and Joe got first place. No, I think it was Battle at the Border. That's when I practiced way too much because we were going through the list several different times, just going through it once or twice, making sure that I still have the muscle memory, that I don't have any tricks I haven't learned. Like I learned green triangle for tower cut. I keep on forgetting the names. There's so many of them. I had no idea how to do it until a couple of days before. I kept on asking the group chat to tutorial, and luckily after like 3 weeks of persisting, Grayson Grayson sent me the YouTube tutorial that Adrian posted. So there wasn't any tricks in the lock team that I couldn't. So that was like a bit of a relief. I think I got a point on a couple people for it, but yeah, there's just making sure that I can do all the tricks is really important to me. So that's something that I really got to work on for ATLO. The candle 180 rover is really hard for me, and that's something that I want to nail before I fly out in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So you identify. So it sounds like the first thing you do is identify which tricks you can and can't do.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then making
So
sure
that's what I'm going through the list instead of starting to practice immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I think that's a really helpful tip. I think a lot of people can benefit from that. And so you spend a lot of time honing in on tricks that it's like, okay, if I can't do this trick, you're really persistent. Like I want to at least learn I want to be able to say I can do it. You want to have all that before the
I will say this, I'm not the best at staying loyal to that. Sometimes, especially some fast tricks, if they're on a trick list, once I land them 3 times in a row, I just never practice them again. So like green triangle, I learned how to do it 3 times in a row, and then I just neglected it, just because I knew that the time I would spend on learning how to do green triangle consistently was time that I would rather spend making sure that all the other tricks were consistent, just because a majority of the people wouldn't have green triangle dialed in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a cost benefit analysis.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what's going to be more worth it to you? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So
look, if there's let's say, I don't even think it's been on any list, but if 4-type juggle bird was a trick, then I probably would have grinded the hell out of it, just because I know that the whole lock team can crank that out, like just back and forth. So I would want to practice that trick to make sure that I could do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes total sense. Yeah. And do you in the lock team, do you guys do mock comps like before every competition, or how does that work?
We have a group chat. It's like a iMessage thing. So if I ever want to practice, I just spam everyone in there. I go like to FaceTime and like I click around everyone's contact name, and whoever joins, I ask them if they want to do a mock match.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. For the nerves part of open, is it any different for you than freestyle?
Freestyle, I look forward to freestyle.
Okay.
Open, I'm a little nervy. Sometimes I get really excited to compete. I was pretty excited at our cup. I keep on wanting to say Windy Cup. But freestyle, it's a different ball game. Freestyle, I know that I can kill it. I know that I'm gonna kill it. And I just think about like tricks that I want to land before I go in. I learned how to do cushion lighthouses before 303 for the sake of just having more variety.
Yeah.
I know at SLC, someone mentioned variety. I forgot who it was, but so I just in the final round, I started off with like a round bird, which isn't necessarily anything crazy, but I just like throwing stalls in there, and I forgot what other. I don't think I do any other weird stuff in. I got by kind of easy, just because I was able to spam tricks the whole time. But I know that if I'm gonna compete out like Mako and I don't have variety, I'm not gonna move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in our last podcast that we did together, you said when we had to compare the two, which one you thought you were personally better at, open or freestyle. I think you said you liked freestyle a lot more, but you were maybe just felt better at open for some reason. What do you think now? Or what do you think?
I think I'm way better at freestyle now. I think if you were gonna put me at a global scale, then I would be a hell of a lot closer to the top with freestyle than I would be with open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what how's your mindset? You know, you're on a streak. You got in double podium at every event you've been to, except for the last one, which you couldn't even compete in freestyle. How has the mindset developed after all these wins? This like huge amount of proof that you built for yourself that not only can you win comps, you know, but you do win comps.
It's making me egotistical. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
You're really egotistical. Like I text my friends and I'm like, I'm so excited to go win at NACO, just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
To like not necessarily manifest it, but just get into a mindset of like, okay, I'm expecting that I'm gonna win. And that's why I'm not gonna be nervous when I'm up on stage because I know that of course there's people that can beat me, but I know that I can beat them too. So people like Jacob Schultz, I don't think I've ever beat him in open, but I want to face him so bad now that I've improved. I saw that he went to ATLO last year. I hope he goes this year. Fingers crossed. I honestly don't know, but there's so many great players that have beat me in the past that I want to rematch. So
Yeah.
I'm looking even more forward to events like Battle at the Border, NACO, ATLO. I just want to compete against more people. A lot of the people that I face, yeah, a majority of people that I face live on the West Coast or like Midwest. ATLO is going to be like first time since Battle that I've gone out to the East Coast to compete. So there's going to be new faces there. I'm gonna have to do a lot of introducing. I hope they don't watch this and then like tell everyone to shun me away so I get nervous when I compete. But I don't know. I'm excited to go. I'm excited to try out new open division like freestyle or new open division tactics because I don't think there's going to be freestyle. But I'm just really excited to go compete again.
There's not
And
going to be freestyle at ATLO.
what was that?
There's not going to be freestyle.
I don't think so. I think it's an open division only event.
Oh wow. I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer.
Hey.
Hey, it's all right though. Yeah. The ATLO people are gonna listen to this. People are going to ATLO. You're gonna like introduce yourself to them, like be nice and stuff, and be like, "Wow, I know you're only doing this for your own benefit, dude. Okay, I know you're only doing."
Yeah. I promise to anyone who's watching this, like I actually want to meet new people too. I think talking to other people in kendama is a great way to grow the game and to understand the different perspectives as to what they like within the game. So if I'm talking to you, I promise it's not just me being shallow. I want to get to know people too. It just happens to be that it helps me compete really well.
It's just also a math. It's just also a nice bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, I think it's gonna be awesome to see you back out there to ATLO, and yeah, second time on the East Coast, and it's gonna be my first time going to ATLO too. So I'm excited for that. I usually only go to like yourself, like only go to the East Coast for Battle of the Border. So I think it's
Yeah,
gonna.
exactly. I think that's the only East Coast event that I've gone to.
Yeah.
I've gone twice now, so I think this will be my third time competing on the East Coast, but not necessarily that far south. Or I guess it's not that much more south about the border, but I'm sure I'll see a lot of new faces, and that's kind of what I meant by like just a new competition.
Right.
I know that I'm going to be facing a lot more like there's a lot of competitors that go about the border that I just haven't had like the pleasure of facing in open division, and I think this is where I'm going to get the chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And for all these events, Miguel, I mean, what was it a pretty easy decision to say, okay, I'm going to all these US events? Because it's clear. I mean, you put in a lot of effort to go to these events. You're hitting a lot of events in the past 5 months. Was that a easy decision for you to make, or
This is all stemming from the 365 list from last year. I was so bummed that I didn't make it on the top 25 that I've done all like at first it started off like, okay, there's no way people are gonna be able to ignore me now. And now it's more of like I progressed so much, I don't want to stop progressing, and I'm gonna keep on getting better than myself. And I think the milestone that I have for myself is it's a double podium at either NACO or Battle of the Border.
yeah, yeah? You were talking about that, I think, at the last on our last conversation too. And would you say that's kind of your the biggest goal you're going for right now? Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of tied with the podium. I'd rather get third and third at NACO than lose the podium and get like first and not at all on something else. I really don't want to restart. I feel like the podium is the best way for me to measure my progress.
Wait, what?
Wait. So
Because there's been so many, I've taken so many red eye flights this past year just to make sure that I get to an event. I do not want to try to reset a streak and have to take more red eye flights. It's more of just like a silly thing that I've got going on in my own head. I know that I'm gonna get, or okay, maybe not know, but I know that I'm gonna do really well and that I've got like super solid chance at getting first in both. But
Yeah.
I just don't want to lose the streak. I know that I won't, but the thought is at the back of my head, just like pulling me down.
okay, well, I want to ask you this.
All right.
Actually, Nick, you can go ahead.
Well, you just said you'd rather get third instead of win at NACO. But I want to ask this as well. If you get first in one division and then say you don't podium in the other, I mean, does that that still keeps your streak, right?
Oh, he's trying to double podium streak, right?
Yeah. So I'm keeping my streak. So if I lose in freestyle after, let's say, winning an open, I'm not counting that as a continuous streak.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'll consider it as an event streak, but that's gonna lower it back down to like 5 or something. So I gotta keep on going just
Right.
to even more events.
Okay.
I still want to go to more events, and I'm sure I will, even if I lose a streak. But I think the streak has been the best way for me to measure my growth as a player.
Yeah.
Especially because like I think I've gone to more events this year than I have throughout like the 10 years that I've been playing kendama. So it's like I guess the number just means a lot to me right now, especially
Yeah.
now that it's just one away from matching the amount of like years that I've been playing.
Yeah. So and also I just would like to confirm, when is this streak? Where is your goal? When is it okay to end for you?
Never. That's that's the goal that I have. Yeah, the goal is to just set a ridiculous streak that no one else is going to be able to kind of beat.
Well, but you keep saying you're super close though. Like, are you going for 10?
Oh,
Or?
I think he's going for 10.
So my current goal is 10.
Okay.
Like I need to hit 10. So ATLO is like the 10 in-person kind of like brackets that I've competed in.
Yeah.
But I want to just go as high as I can because I don't know what the current streak is, and I'm sure it's pretty high up there.
Wait, wait, you're not the streak of double podiums?
Yeah.
Well, but there's no freestyle at ATL.
Yeah, there's no freestyle ATL though.
What?
Oh yeah. So like I'm not counting Windy City or ATLO as a double podium streak. So right now I've got SoCal, LVKO, SLC, 303.
Okay.
So I'm at 4 right now, and I want to keep on growing that. And then I have the other three, just the brackets that I've competed in and won.
Got it. Unless you win the disc golf tournament on the Sunday.
I've never played disc golf before, so I'm not going to count that in a streak just in case I lose.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's interesting to hear you say like, okay, I mean 100%, I totally understand where you're coming from with the streak, but
Before we continue, another big reason why I'd rather get third and third and just get first in one and like losing in another is because that means that I would end the event off on a loss. And after LVKO, like I felt like I was pretty excited to be there. I was excited to go to the post jam, but for the next like 2 weeks, I was just thinking about like, damn, I lost in both of the finals and I ended off the event with a loss. If I end up in third, I end off on a win because I beat the person that got fourth. It's just kind of like a mindset thing. Like I don't know if you guys have seen the memes about like the person who's smiling like crazy is in first, the person who looks like they're gonna cry is in second, and the next person who looks like they're super excited is in third. Just because second place loses off on a loss. Maybe it's just me being nitpicky and not wanting to lose on a loss, but like that's another big thing that I probably should have clarified. It just kind of made me sound insane that I'd rather get first in one and then lose the other.
Yeah. Okay. I can grab my head around that a little bit more now. I just okay, I was gonna ask you about LVKO. It's like, okay, you double, okay, because you say you'd rather get third and third, but my mind would automatically went to, okay, well, every other double podium you had, you actually won one. And then and then at the start of this conversation, you were talking about how much it sucked to lose and get 2 second places. And I was gonna ask you again, like, yeah, well, how does that feel? You know, you didn't
ending off on a win is very different for me, but okay, now that I think about it, I also haven't gotten a third place, I don't think ever in open division. So that might be another thing. I'm sure if I get third, I'm gonna come back on here saying like I totally regret saying that. I wish I got second instead. But
I mean, hey,
it's all gonna vary. I've never experienced it before, so
yeah.
I've experienced it quite a bit, and I don't think it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like amazing. So I was gonna say that, just put my personal experience out there. But
I want to see you get first, man.
yeah, I want to see it first.
I'm real excited for NACO. I'm real excited for NACO, especially with like I know that Europeans are gonna be pulling up, Japanese people are gonna be pulling up.
Yeah,
it's like so much more competition for me to face.
Yeah, you might see Rio go
I'm just
there.
excited about facing new people.
Yeah. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be a sick comp, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so unbelievably excited. And this time I'm arriving the day before and leaving the day after. No red eye flights. So I'm gonna
seriously.
well, I'm doing everything.
The preparation has upgraded.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you did say, you're like, I saw you post the other day, and you talked about our last conversation too. You're like I always perform under the worst conditions, and you seem to bring it out every single time. So I mean,
I think I typically do pretty well the day of.
Yeah.
But the day here, I'm like thrashed. Like I can't move my legs, can't squat down. I gotta play with like locked legs. So I'm hoping that this is just gonna help me not have that issue because I know that Nichols is several days long. I don't
Yeah.
want to do really well one day, like abolish everyone, and then the next day go out first round.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I'm really excited to see you there, and yeah, I just want to see you. I want to see you crush it. So, yeah,
I'm so
same for the first.
Yeah.
Same for the first.
Yeah, I want to
place,
see it
bro.
first.
I'm going
Uh,
first and first. That's what I
Oh,
got.
that's I want to hone in on this a little. I just want to hone on this little topic just more a little more specifically before we move on. Are there any tips? So a lot of players struggle. They struggle mentally, you know, in the freestyle and open. Can you give any tips maybe for do you have any tips that you'd like to share with people to hone in that mental aspect? Because a lot of people understand, okay, yeah, I gotta practice at home, but you know, a lot of people are like, how do I beat the comp shakes? The nerves are so crazy up there, you know. Can you share anything with the people you'd like to let know that how to improve that mentality for competition in general?
Doing stuff that makes me really uncomfortable, like what some people would think like embarrassing, really helps me out. I play on campus a lot. There's not very many Kendama players on campus, and I'm like out in the middle of like Tower Lawn or in the middle of like where people are tabling, just playing Ken. So a lot of people are looking at me, whether
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that's cool, or like, oh, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
It's just getting more eyes on me. But that wasn't necessarily the biggest thing that helped me. It might be for some other people, but I've gotten pretty comfortable with doing that. I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Public speaking was what helped me.
Nice.
Like I'm on the leadership boards of several different extracurriculars. I think we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
hosting workshops has definitely helped me. I think something that really helped me was like throughout this internship, like my manager has been working in that industry longer than I've been alive. So like I was like, super nervous talking to him. So like as I was overcoming the learning curve going through that internship, I started getting really confident, like genuine confidence instead of like a fake it till you make it kind of thing that I used in Kendama before. So when it came to SLC, I was stressing because I didn't have my work computer. So I was just thinking about the emails and that kind of like took my mind off it as well. But I had genuine confidence when I was going up there. I knew that I had the capability to win. Even after going out first round, me and Luke were shit talking each other before. So I had that like in my mind as well. Just like, okay, I got to be petty about this and I got to beat them in the finals. I ended up losing in the finals, but just having some kind of goal in mind helps me a lot. Whether it be proving to myself that I've gotten better than last time or proving to someone else that I'm better than what they think of me. Just kind of have some kind of goal in mind, whether it's like, okay, this time I'm going to win 2 matches instead of win one, lose one, or win one, lose two. But like small goals like that, like you're not going to be the best competitor at the first event you go to. And I think that's something you really need to remember. I didn't podium at I can't even remember how many events that I've been to, but I didn't podium at any of those. I think the first one that I actually started winning like open division was the San Jose Kendama Open, and I knew everyone there. And the same one for the San Jose Kendama Open after that, I knew everyone there. So I didn't have nerves when it came to actually competing like at Battle at the Border. It's a different ball game. So I think the best thing for nerves is going to more events, competing against more people, trying to play in public, get better at just being in front of strangers. I think that's something that I'm still working on, and I'm excited to show my progress on that at the next event that I'm gonna go to.
Yeah.
I know that it's pretty much just a confidence issue for me. I think once I get over that, I'll be able to actually play at my highest level.
Well,
That's what makes Alex Mitchell so scary, by the way, because he always looks so calm and composed. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Alex, yeah, he's a great competitor. Well, I want to highlight something there that you brought up. You know, you said not everybody's going to be the best competitor their first event, and you brought up how long it's taken you to get to where you are today with this streak, with your podiums. Your player's been playing for 10 years. Yeah, for everybody listening, he's been playing for 10 years, and he's podiumed. He just mentioned a couple of events he podiumed, but yeah, how many
It
years do
took
you
me
go
9 years, nine
Yeah.
years and a half to actually start podiuming consistently.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's just gonna come immediately. You gotta put in your time, you gotta go to events. And maybe you have faster progression than me, then hell yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
But don't expect it to immediately hit. Like if you've been playing for less than a year and you're competing in Pro Open, props to you, you're a beast. But the other people that you're competing against have so many more years of experience on you, just being in front of a crowd. So it's okay to lose, especially like I'm talking to beginners and some of the people that win intermediate have been playing, like they're at the intermediate level, but they've gone to several events. They've played in front of people. They know how to, like say, not shake during speed ladders. Whereas some of the other people that might be better than them, they might be like at the advanced level competing in intermediate, just because their shakes are so bad. So I think the more events you go to, the better it's gonna get. I understand that it's really hard for people though. Like I'm very privileged. I'm able to go to all these events. I was able to use some savings that I had, and I sell my prizes a lot. TikTok shop helps me pay for a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Isaac for selling Lotus Booms on there.
Oh,
But yeah, so I've tried to be really resourceful about going to as many events as I can. And I think with each event that I've gone to, I've gotten a lot better at competing. So just getting out there is a big piece of advice that I can give to anyone.
yeah, I think that's awesome, and just letting people know it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, you've been putting in the work for many, many, many years, dude, and you know to
Mhm.
see all this big payoff still happening. You know, it's so cool, and I think it just you know reinforces the notion that the idea of you know you got to actually put the time in, and you know great things don't happen overnight, like what we're talking about. Yeah, man, I wanted
This
to.
is super off topic, but congratulations on the G standards kendama. I just remembered that.
Oh, thanks.
I saw the clips of it and it looks all sick. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, we're aiming to give that in public online release at the towards the end of this year. If not at Battle of the Border, maybe in December. So we're looking to
Nico
refine
drop.
the shape a little
That's
bit, but hmm?
a Nico drop.
No, after that. We're looking to
Uh,
refine the shape a little more before we drop it online. Because it's good, but we can make some adjustments to it to make it even better. But
So
once
what
we
do you guys think makes the shape unique compared to other kendama brands or other kendama shapes? Are there any shapes that you guys would use as like an example of what it's kind of based off of? Because I know that a lot of like smaller shapes are kind of based off of one-ups. What do you guys think would like be the most accurate description of the shape?
Yeah, it's so the whole goal for the shape was okay, can we make it better than the element? Because
Mhm.
we really like the element. It works well for us, but we know the only thing that we right off the bat and Nick are like, okay, the element can be improved by doing this is the spike length. Nick and I prefer a little bit of a longer spike, but we also wanted to hone in stuff of our play style and differentiate it in that way, but also not go too big on the cups. So
Mhm.
we were going to keep it around the same cup size, but we use an element as a benchmark. Like, okay, we have to make it better than this. And so it's a little different in the sense that it's definitely taller. I mean, all things considered, that's probably the biggest difference because the element is more of like a short, like chunkier shape, but the you know the Gallagher shape for Lotus is definitely taller. It's super good for juggles, Ken flips, taps, stalls. The stalls really well. I think
Mhm.
the thing that Nick and I are trying to improve most on it for now is finding that balance, trying to keep these strong points, but also to improve the lunars. It has a tendency, it can lunar, but you know, it's with the tallness, it can sometimes be hard to balance that. So that's what
Mhm.
we're working on. And we're thinking about, you know, manipulating the cup size a little bit and maybe the size of it, the Ken itself. But
Mhm.
yeah, we did base the Ken shape off. The benchmark was like, okay, can we make it better than the element? So that's what was in mind, and it's very, very good for select, you know, the trendy tricks, the juggles, taps. It's so good for those.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
and
was
so
gonna ask if it's as good as the element for taps.
yeah,
Yeah.
but as far as the lunars go, we want to make it nice for lunars and improve upon the handle stall that the element has. Which it is, it's better, it has a better handle stall point, a little more pronounced, and then I think going forward too, it'll probably have a little more pronounced like ring stall. I know in our conversation last time we talked about like nobody does ring stalls, like oh you know the lock shape, like you can't
I
ring on
think
it or
the
something.
Devil X has slightly more ring stall now.
Oh,
There you
It's
go.
look at that! Give us a ring flip right now.
the ring flip.
Double X. I saw the bevels on those. The Tamas are massive.
The ring is bigger, is not necessarily that much better. It's it's easier to catch, but
Yeah.
it's still hard to flip. I think I don't do any ring stall tricks. I think I did like a round ring stall flip on the other one, but I also use a super sesh Sulab Tama. So that's
Yeah.
I know that. Okay, changing topics. Let me go bring another Sulab setup. This is the one
Perfect.
that I compete with for a lot of the competition.
Okay.
So I stopped playing with this one at around SLC because of this chipped,
Yep.
Yeah.
but this is like quite sesh. I don't know if the lighting is doing it justice, but
That looks insane.
it's really beat.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to go into setups a bit, I mean, you've been using Sulab Tamas for, I mean, this whole year, right? This whole year, it seems like.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so this one that you just put to rest finally,
Mhm.
it served you very well. And then this other one you're playing right now, is this the one you're going to be competing with for the next competitions at ATLO? The one that was 70-70?
I've got another.
Oh,
I've got like a bunch of exhibits to show you guys.
all right, let's go.
I've been stocking up on Sulabs like crazy because I'm really picky about them. And this is the new Sulab drop. So I got the maximum number, so I wouldn't have to purchase it again because I don't know if it's public information, but green and purple are my favorite colors. And this new Sulab has like purple and green. And they have released some in the past, the Joker Tamas, but whenever I try to find one, they have crazy resale value and I'm not gonna pay that much for a Tama. So what I did was pretty much just max out the number that I can get as a member. Uh, and this is what I've been doing for the Solis as well. This is 77, 77. I have one that's 82 and I have another one that's 73. I did request weights on this one, but when I ordered these, only one of the requests came in accurately. So I got 6 of these.
Oh,
Yeah, just so I don't have to buy Tamas. I'm really, really picky about my Tamas.
wow.
Wow,
I
that's
gotta walk back and get this one too. All right. So here's a beach one that I got. I got this one for a steal. Shout out to Milan. But it's something that we both didn't know. He was kind of like the middleman for a transaction. So when I lunar this, it feels really good around the bevel, but here it just feels so whack. I do not like it at all for competing. I won freestyle at SLC with it, and I occasionally play it. I still love the beach Sulab Thomas. But Milan, he's like my Sulab plug. He encouraged me to get Solis because of the crushable bev and the maple Thomas. I just don't like how long it takes for the like a normal maple Tama to break in and how like slippery it is. But the Soli, yeah, fun fact about this. I thought this was the 82 gram one. So I started playing it a couple days before 303, and it turns out it was a 77. And I just kind of stuck with it. But I had it on 90-gram Kens. So I was playing with like a 13-gram disparity for a couple months.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I thought I just got really bad at taps, but it's because my setups weren't really that good at them.
Yeah.
But now I traded for this one, so now I have a perfect way match. This is what I used to compete with,
Mhm.
but I used to compete with like 84, 84, 84, 87. I'm a big fan of Ken heavy setups, but I think in open division I like perfect weight matches more, and I'm starting to focus more on lighter setups just so I can get better at doing pin flips
Mm.
without getting my shoulders as tired as fast.
Hmm. And when you were talking about Sulab Thomas just a second ago, you said, I mean, what's your favorite wood type for them? Because you were thinking beech is okay, but maple takes too long to break in. Which one is your favorite?
Beach is always my favorite Thomas, and it'll continue. It's just that this one's egged, and the other one is kind of beyond repair. So
Yeah.
this was an amazing Tama. It lasted me around like 6 months. So yeah, if that lasted me 6 months, I figured the maple one would last me more. And I've got other like variants stocked up as well.
Yeah.
When I got my internship, I kind of got into the bad habit of like, okay, this is what I couldn't afford as a kid. I'm gonna get it now. So
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of USOs as well. That's another exhibit, but
No
I'll
way.
put it later on. I've got like a big box full of them. I've got a bunch of OG Mugans now. Yeah,
what?
so it's it's
Okay, so you're like a collector.
yeah. So now I'm just collecting the Damas that I wish I had before. Oh, I got like okay, I will grab the Muso box because I need to show you guys something that I'm sure you guys will appreciate. Okay, other than the whole thing, I do have some doubles like the Delight Green that took me so long to find. Okay, this is Vegan Musos.
Wow, that's a lot.
Holy.
So I'll just walk you guys through. Like I mentioned before, purple and green are my favorite colors. So like there's some that I have that are just like I wish I had them as a kid and
Yeah,
I just
wow.
wasn't able to get them. I did have the Delight Green. I think it was a Christmas gift I got a couple years into playing. But I ended up selling it on a GT for like $300. So like back then as a kid, you can't kind of turn down that kind of profit. I give my mom money as well. So it wasn't like I was like, okay, thank you for the Christmas gift. I'm gonna go sell it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find this. There's two kendamas here that you guys would probably appreciate, but
You have the Kayaki?
okay, here's one of them. I don't think I think I might have had this at the last time we talked. but this is the first.
Oh,
wow.
This is the first ever grip from Yuso. I got it from Luke himself.
no
Um,
way.
I was scrolling on FKC, just searching for grips, and I reached out to him because I saw that he had some, and then I bought a handful of Red Azor grips off of him, and then he hit me
Wow.
up later saying like, "Hey, I have this as well. Like, it seems like you're a big fan of grips." Okay, I think I missed one of them. Give me 1 second. There's another grip in here somewhere.
Wow.
The doc doesn't have a grip sticker. I should probably throw one on there.
Did you buy all of those recently?
I think over the course of the past like year and a half, but I've got some crazy steals. I think some of these I paid like it was like $50.
Wow,
So
nice.
yeah, and they're all in great condition. I don't have any that are crazy. Okay, I found it. Orange. I got this one off FKC. This one was a lot more expensive, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably
Yeah.
the most I've ever spent on a kendama, but
my
it's
God.
also probably one of like the biggest artworks that I have of a kendama. I wish I could display these, but I've there's so much stuff that I need to touch upon. I'm gonna show you guys my kendama box that I have of fresh setups. I lost the lid to the box. Okay. So we're gonna venture over here.
All right.
Oh, I'm still plugged in.
Now it's a
Okay.
collection video.
Let's go.
Yeah. I created a collection video at the end of last year, and it was like, I think like 3 10-minute videos. So we got this. There's a bunch of seshers, friends play with them. There's a bunch of blooms up there for TikTok videos. There's like random Azoras, random Sulabs, random Cushing through Tamas. But going over here, this is so hard on my computer. I want to make sure that it's in frame. This is prizes that I've gotten over the year, which is just unreal to think of. I have so many Chad mods.
Dude, I'm saying they
Shout out to Chad for selling out, but I have so many of them.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of like, I don't think there's any unreleased stuff in here, so I don't have to worry about it. But a bunch of like lock stuff I've won at competitions,
Yeah,
tools that I
nice.
use, like climber's tape to make sure my cups don't go down. Yeah, there's so many Chad mods. There's a sour mash setup that I bought not that long ago from someone from my school. They just happen to have it. There's a lot of kendamas in here. At the bottom, I think there's some of the stuff that I bought, like some grips. But a majority of this is just stuff that I won or that Locked sent me. Locked has a lot of prizes at the events that I win as well. So I've gotten a lot of kendamas that they're just kind of sitting there and I feel kind of bad. So that's one of the main reasons why I want to like set up the Ken Club, just so I can get them into hands that are people that are actually going to use them.
Right.
It's like some of those shapes aren't shapes that I would play very often. Like I've opened a lot of kendamas. I'll play them once for like a TikTok review, and then I feel bad because they're just kind of sitting up on that shelf. So I just like I give them to Fabian and give them to another friend, but I want to make sure that I can get them in like the hands of people that are going to be playing consistently and like actually getting into the game.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Okay. So back to Sulabs. I also have some like Sullies in there as well. And I have a box of Sulabs over there, but I feel like I've gone over enough exhibits for today's podcast. Because there's so many other like random boxes of like a specific thing, whether it be like, oh yeah, the bottom of that box has I don't think it's a full collection anymore, but a bunch of Zen stripes. Like painted Zen stripes from Kenko. So there's a bunch of like random, yeah, it's a bunch of random stuff in there that I just happen to have. Because like I don't know if I touched on this on the last discussion, but like I had appendicitis like last year at the end of last year, and I was just kind of scrolling through eBay, specifically like Japanese listings, and I was just looking for whatever anyone had. So I got a bunch of musos off there. And then I was scrolling on eBay and like domestically, I was able to find the collection of Zen stripes. And I sold some at Battle of the Border, like, help pay off the set, and like help pay for trips. So a lot of those kendamas I do end up selling just to pay for my next flight. Because a lot of the times I do win cash, but it often isn't enough to cover the next flight that I have, especially when it comes to like flying to the East Coast.
Right.
Like I think the NACO one is the most expensive one that I've gotten this year.
Yeah. And so to bring it back to the Sulab, just to confirm, you've been using it all year, but do you think this is your favorite paint? Like, is this your go-to? You just have got like 6 jokers.
Yeah, I think for competitions it is. Like
Okay.
I know like I haven't had to buy a Tama for the past like 6 months. I don't know if I'm just paranoid that something's like a termite's gonna get in and then like destroy my Thomas or something. But I'm a big fan of just stocking up on them. I'm sure I'm gonna send some to the lock team
Yeah.
We're gonna do like trades for like products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just so I can get my hand on more of the handcrafted deadbolts. They're my favorite. That's why I traded for this one. This is a CNC one from Quad. I think this
Nice.
is from the same batch from around LVKO, and it's been my favorite batch of deadbolts so far. So like I'm really picky about what I use for competitions. I started playing with this like 2 days ago, and that's because ATL low is coming up soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you could give us your top 3 paints real quick?
Top 3 paints, friction clear, 2023 sticky paint, specifically on natty or on pink. The CKC Tama is unreal. I still have several of those. I know you guys like Raptor Clear. I had one, and when I played with it, it was like really humid outside, and it made all my Tamas super slippery. So I didn't like I didn't like Sulabs at that time. I didn't like any paints. I was just playing generic sticky paint. So
Yeah.
why would I play anything else? It's all the same. I'm gonna play with the Tamas with the coolest designs.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling that one off. It wasn't my favorite, but I haven't tried it in a climate where I feel like you would thrive in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know what the third would be. I feel like it's very variable because I love Asian clear Tamas, but they get to a point where it gets too sticky.
Yeah.
I haven't tried out all that many premium paints. Yeah, I think I just really like friction clear for competitions, and I like sticky for this session. I know you guys like Raptor, right?
Yeah, Raptor's great. Raptor's great, and I totally when I played it in very humid weather too here in Japan, and it was I mean it just got slick like how most paint, how every paint would get slick. I also really like Rev from Okinamas, so
Red.
I really like Rev. I use that at KWC over Raptor. Well, I probably would use the Raptor honestly, but my Raptor was super. I played it a lot. It was honestly a little too beat, and I wanted something a little more fresh. But I like those two paints a ton. And other than that, I think I just haven't played Friction Clear. Did you? Yeah, you saying Friction Clear is super good. I'm like thinking like when have I ever played Friction Clear? I really haven't given it a solid shot.
I'd say it's real different from when you try it once from when you completely session it.
Okay.
What I mean, like this last 6 months, I mean, I know that it's super beat, but it still lasted way longer than most of my Tamas do. Especially
Right.
before this, I was a big fan of just playing generic sticky paint, but it ships real easy on me. I love playing over asphalt and over cement just because it's the most even ground. And this is just stuck by my side, helping win a bunch of competitions. That honestly might be the reason why I love it so much, just because I've had such a good success rate with it. Like trauma bonded maybe, but I'm a big fan of it now, and I do realize that it is really expensive. So I think my number one paint recommendation would just be generic sticky paint.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and if you can get in the Friction Clear group and then just go off.
Yeah, I will say this: I hate paying resale. That's why I got 6 of them. Because I know that if I start playing one in like 6 months, or if they're getting ready for Battle at the Border, and I'm like, oh, I love this Tama. I'm gonna go buy another one. Like that's what happened with this one. Like I found one on FKC. I was like, yo, how much are you selling it for? He was like 135. It's like, okay, I gotta I gotta reach out to the people I know and see if I can work out a trade or something, because that's insane to me. Especially considering I don't even think it's been a full year since it dropped. It still hasn't been a full year since it dropped, and they're already reselling for a lot.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of playing resale for kendamas, so I just kind of stock up on those. Like I'm not planning on selling those for like an insane profit. If I do end up selling them later down the line, it's gonna be like whatever price I paid plus shipping. Unless they blow up and cost $1,000, then I'm going to every single event across the planet. But I really don't think that happen. Yeah, I'm a big fan of those Thomas. Typically before, I'm not sure who the name of the person is. It Sue? I'm gonna just call him Sue, the guy from
Yeah,
Sue
Sue.
Lab.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Sue. Before members were only able to reserve, I think 3 Thomas, and this time it was 6. I think what he's trying to do is just kind of like flood the market, so there's not going to be resale, which is awesome. I think making friction clear more accessible is going to just benefit the community altogether. And it allows me to stock up on more at the same time without having to worry about just getting stuck with like bad weights or something, or getting an eggy Tama. There's gonna be more variety out there, and I think that's awesome. If you can get friction clear into more people's hands, and I think it's something that should happen. I just really don't like resell and kendamas.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, it makes total sense for you to stock up and just be set for the next however minute. I mean, if you with one Tom, it can
I
last.
really don't think I need to buy any more kendamas ever. I know that I'm probably gonna. I say that every year, like every time I go to an event, I'm like, oh man, I'm so stocked, especially now that I'm sponsored. But I know that at some point I'm gonna see another green Tama and be like, oh, okay, maybe this is the last one. And that's just gonna keep on repeating until who knows when.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Yeah, it's just bound to happen a little bit. But yeah, now you're stocked up and your 6 Thomas to last you for however long it may last you. You know, it's gonna
Oh
be.
yeah, because if each one lasts me 6 months, I'm good for at least 3 years. Not
Yeah,
accounting for any of the other Tamas that I have, sticky
yeah.
paint, friction clear, and all the Kens that I have.
Mhm.
It's yeah, I know that I'm set.
There you go.
Heck yeah. Let's get into. I'm gonna go into some of the Instagram questions we got because we have.
Wait, one last question
Oh yeah,
before we record. When do you guys start playing with setups before competitions?
yeah. That's a good question. I think so I'll say this. My KWC setup, this setup that I actually had around my neck right now. I have the
Mhm.
same Tama, but I like don't have the element Ken I had when I first had this Tama fresh. I played it
Mhm.
for a month straight, and it was just what at that time the Ken was just too beat, and this Tama was.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still a good Tama, but I mean, I thought I was like, okay, Neo's probably gonna be better for me in this situation. Um,
Mhm.
I like to break in a Tama for like a month or like at least 3 weeks, and then I'll switch it to a fresh Ken. That's what I like to do for comps.
Yeah, the fresh Ken is a must for me.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so important.
I think I started playing like 2 weeks before, but that means that if it chips in the meantime, I just spin the Ken. I
Mm,
think almost every competition that I've competed in this year, my Ken has chipped on me,
that's
and I
nice.
rotated it. Yeah, whether it's like in competition or right before, I spin it. And then I think I was watching the Lotus vid on string control, and they were like, "You don't want chips because it's going to tingle." Or like get caught. So I just started spinning it in the other direction. So the ting or like, so the chip would be facing the other direction because it's typically on where I put my thumb. So
Yeah.
I put it to the side, and it helps with making sure that the cups don't move up and down all that much either.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Nick. Do you have the same opinion as me? Like playing a Tama.
Yeah, I just usually get a fresh can a day or two before, as close as I can possible to the competition, and then I use a Tama that I've been playing for maybe a couple weeks, a month, and I usually roll with that. This year at KDBC, I used a Tama that I actually I think I played almost fresh Raptor and then a fresh Element Ken for both days, prelim and finals.
Mhm.
That was a pretty specific situation just because I couldn't get my hands on fresh Kens until the absolute last moment. So I didn't really know what to do or what Thomas to use and things like that. But other than that, when I have full control over it, then I like to time it. Fresh Ken, maybe a week before, maybe want to get to the competition a couple days early, and then with the Tama that I've been playing for 3 weeks or a month. But yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah, I love hearing about what people do because there's some people that go in with like just destroyed setups. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's always like nice to hear what people do.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, back to the Instagram questions.
Yeah. Yeah. So some people. All right. Well, here's the first one from Tiblex. I thought this was an interesting one. What is the importance of add-ons and how they make you better?
Dude, it's everything. That is such a good question. Holy shit. That it is everything. The reason why I'm so good at freestyle is because I just always do add-ons. I think at jams, I specifically remember this growing up, whenever anyone would visit one of the San Jose jams, everyone would be like, look at Miguel's add-ons. Like they're insane. Like you would never expect it. So I think my whole play style is just add-ons. Like I think that's what my freestyle is. You see that I don't have a specific line in mind, and if I do, it's relatively short. I spike and then I go on to the next.
Yeah.
My whole strategy of spike as fast as you can and get more spikes in than your competitor. It's basically just a game of how many things can I add on.
Right.
I don't even thought about it that way. That's a crazy good question. I just had
So
like an epiphany.
oh yeah. So and actually this goes right into another question that somebody wanted to ask is what is your favorite like trick, genre of trick?
Triple flips.
Okay. Okay.
Think triple J6, triple whirlwinds, and then triple flip these. I think it's my favorite add-on because it allows me to reset my string while also looking cool.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
great point. The triple flip rotation juggles?
Yeah, like just anything that I could triple flip out of,
Yeah.
and then just like swap out of, stuff like that. Like I
Yeah.
could just grab it, and even if I grab it incorrectly, I typically have enough airtime where I could just do something weird out of it and spike.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of juggles. If I was to stick with a single trick, I think lunars might be what I would choose.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of lunars. I don't do as much tech anymore, which I'm kind of sad about, but it's I record so many TikToks where I'm just like freestyling
Yeah.
that has kind of become like my main thing. Um, I used to only do like tech tricks. So I think it was David Sherlock was creating a video on like rating canal players. And he was like, "Oh yeah, this is like a flowy canal player," and I'm like, "Wait, like this is what I'm known as now, not like the lunar guy."
Yeah.
So getting used to that was a bit strange for me, but I still love lunar. It's still one of my favorite tricks.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think of you as like a flowy, as like the flow player too.
Yeah, I think
So
I've kind of brought that upon myself. I'm just only posting flow lines for like 2 years
it's not a
now.
bad thing. It's cool. It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and like it's also added. It doesn't even take away. It doesn't even mean you can't do lunars. It's like, oh man, Miguel's really flowy, but he's also super good at lunars. Oh, and he's also really tech too. I think it's just now it's more so predominantly like people just see you do flow mostly, so they may not know as much as the
Yeah, exactly.
past, as the past. Doesn't mean you can't do those tricks, still like
I
you can
gotta
still
do a whole month of no juggles or something to remind people of what I
do
can do.
it. That would be cool to watch too,
Yeah, people need to remember the swivel late inward gunslingers.
dude. Yes.
Yes.
Nobody remembers that. Nobody knows.
I was watching David Sherlock's his match against Jacob Schultz, and I saw Jacob Schultz do one of these. I was like, whoa, like I never see other people do those. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the tricks. I think Jacob has totally surpassed me in terms of those, as well as you guys, and just in terms of like swiveling and juggling. But that was like one of the first hard tricks that I can do, was stuff like that.
Mhm.
Just swiveling into place and then slinging as much as I
Yeah,
can.
that's nuts. Oh, that is so crazy. The slinger.
Yeah, it's a crazy throwback. I'm glad you guys know about that. So
Bring
I
it
got
back. Bring it back for
back.
the players now. Bring it back. We
Yeah.
all want to see it. What is your favorite? This is from Joe Kendama, Joe Brackman. Favorite successes of your podium streak.
For successes.
Favorite, I guess, yeah. Favorite moment. Was there anything, any win or something that felt more significant to you?
I think beating Kelvin Wong. I
Okay.
think I know that happened before the last time we talked, but losing to him, coming back and then winning felt unbelievably
You lost
good.
to him when?
Yeah, I beat him in freestyle.
You beat okay, but like you lost to him at what event?
Oh, so I lost to him at that same event in open and then beat him in
Oh.
freestyle.
What event?
SoCal Royale.
Okay. Okay.
Very, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So I don't know. Can't help the comeback story felt awesome. I think 3FE was pretty cool because I won both. I think that was my first double first, but I didn't feel like I had earned it all that much just because I know that it was such a close game with me and Joe.
Mhm.
I didn't really feel like I created like insane like Mako worthy freestyle runs, which is something that I'm kind of like holding myself to.
Yeah.
But I'm so super happy that I won. It felt so strange to have the double first, but I think that my favorite part of the double podium streak will be at NACO.
Mm.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
What so Milan, he says plans for attending KWC.
Hopefully, I'm honestly not sure. I'm waiting to get. I mean, like I'm a senior in college. I'm waiting for job offers and stuff.
Yep.
If my job requires me to start in July, then it is what it is. If not, I'll do my best. I really want to go to EKC. I think
Okay.
EKC is more fitting to my playstyle and my competitive advantage, I guess. But I still love to go to KWC, even if I'm probably gonna shit the bed up there. I'd love to go. I know that it would be like a definite end to the podium streak, but I'd still love to go and try it out. I'd probably aim for like a top 10 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I know that I have capability to do pretty well there, and I'd love to just experience the ambiance. As
Yeah.
well as watch players like Ryoga, Maharo, and Takuya play in person. That's something that I really like. Just so good. I want to see them play in person so bad.
It elevates the event experience 100%. It opens, yeah, they're on another level. So hopefully you'll see them at NACO. Maybe I don't know about Takia, but I think
Yes.
Ryoga's
I
trying to come.
was talking to Maharo, and he says that he's trying. So I'm really
Maharu,
hoping.
I think Maharu is the biggest. Yeah, I think Maharu is almost like for sure going, which is cool.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
so it's gonna be
that's
great.
exciting.
Yeah, heck yeah. What how has Dama changed for you since you've been sponsored? That's from
How has Dama changed for me since I've been sponsored? I will say it's still really weird for me to not have to play through Kens until they're like absolutely demolished. I know that some of the sponsor players, like when it chips, they're like, okay, on to the next, even if the Ken is relatively fresh. Whereas I'm like just chipping them, rotating them, chipping them, rotating them, chipping them, rotating. And until I have no space, like once there's a chip on one side and on the other side directly, like throughout all corners, and I can no longer tap consistently, then the Ken is out. But up until then, I'm gonna continue stretching them until the base grip either wears out completely or the spike is flat.
Mm.
So like the reason why I have so many locked products isn't because I'm like, oh, I'm stockpiling them for an edit or something. It's just because it takes me so long to go through the lock ends because I beat the hell out of them. And they're insanely durable too. I don't know if it's because of like the way they're structured or something, but they're really durable. Like their lock studios.
Yeah.
There
Get
you
your
go.
lock studios. how is you know, last time we talked and every single time we talk to somebody from the lock team, it's like, yeah, the team's awesome, the relationship's great. Still, how's it going right now? Still amazing?
It's still awesome. I'm so excited for Neko. There's like an ongoing joke where I say like I always text I'm so excited to chill with you guys, but I like red eye flight there, red eye flight back, and then like I only hang out with them for like 8 hours. But I'm really excited for Neko because I'll actually be there for several days. I won't have to leave early or anything. I'll be there post streams and stuff. So I'm really excited to actually chill with them and not have the sense of impending doom from the upcoming flight.
Yeah.
I love them. They're all insanely good. Like the tricks, they're all elevating to ridiculous levels. I mean, like, you guys talked to Joe recently too, right? Like Joe he's been consistently grinding. I think he's been getting better at a level like faster than anyone else on the team. In my personal opinion, he's gotten a lot better. He's posting consistently. Like he hosted Tower Cup. He's doing a lot for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kudos to Joe.
Yeah. Speaking of
what?
posted, I noticed you like
Kudos to Joe, my bad. Sit there. Kudos to Judo.
Oh, yeah. I noticed in terms of posting, yeah, I looked in your feed, I'm like, wow, Miguel just does not post reels or on his feed ever. Like this dude does
Yeah.
not post tricks.
I don't like grinding tricks. I feel like I need to have a hard trick, and for me to consider a trick hard, it's like a couple of hours of grinding, and at that point, I'm just like I'm gonna just do some freestyle runs, get it out of my system.
Yeah.
And I'm just having like fun if I'm sessioning with my friend Fabian or something. But if you check my TikTok feed, I'm posting there a hell of a lot more consistently. I think that's my main platform now. I do post Instagram stories every now and then, but I think I need to post more about on Stink Left Foot. Going back to that, I have it there, and I always forget that it exists. I think that's kind of why I wanted to post like my content that's similar to my TikTok on it there, like whether it be like mini vlogs at events, mini vlogs at gyms, maybe not necessarily tips or tips and tricks, more of just straight up kendama tricks, like me and my friends having fun and stuff. Because I feel like culture is a big reason why people get into hobbies. And I think displaying how fun kendama events can be, or just playing kendama with friends can be, is going to be a huge reason why people start playing kendama.
Yeah.
I think.
So why not post those on your main account?
I don't know. That's a great question. I have
You already have
that
Stink Left Foot.
I feel like
how
every
many
trick I post has to either be harder than the previous trick or be innovative. And I feel like I haven't necessarily had any of those in a long time. I do think that the Insta triple tray flip deserves to be there. So now it's hard to brainstorm a trick that's gonna one of that one. Because I can't do quad tray out of Insta yet. I'm giving it a couple of tries and it's just not there right now. So I gotta come up with either a new trick or find a hard trick that I can grind out. I'm not a big fan of grinding.
What about posting this stuff like that you post on Single Foot? Like you're saying, like event recap, like the reels and stuff, all this stuff like that's actually showing the pure like joy of kendama. What about just like posting them and hiding them from your feed and they're available on your reels? Have you thought about that?
I have thought of that, but like I think they appear disproportionately to my followers, and I would like I don't know. I don't want it to be repetitive because I feel like my TikTok does get repetitive. A lot of people don't actually like watch my videos all the way through, and you don't have all that much follower interaction on TikTok. it's like very, very low compared to Instagram. So there I can be a lot more repetitive with my lines. I try not to post the same trick over and over, but I do post very similar lines over and over. So to a non-kendama player, let's say some triple flip swap thing will probably look like the same thing in every single line with, but kendama players would realize like, oh, there was an extra tap there that wasn't there at the one that he posted like 2 days ago or something.
Yeah.
But TikTok people aren't necessarily like, oh, he posted the same thing 2 weeks ago, guys. Let's unfollow him. It's more of like, oh wow, it's a cool video, bro. And then they follow me, and then they never interact ever again. So I think that's the difference, like in my mind, from TikTok and Instagram. I love both of the platforms to a certain extent, of course. I still have, like many other people, have the problem like doom scrolling, just like continuously scrolling, no landing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more of a fan of posting on TikTok. I feel like it's more casual, whereas Instagram, I feel like I've kind of built up an expectation for myself. Like I'm not really worried about other people being like, oh, he only posted like double Insta trace still flip. Like, no, let's unfollow him. It's more of like I want to be better.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to quantify that through posting tricks that aren't really that hard.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of people feel the same way as you in that regard. So I think that's a common thought process in kendama. So yeah,
I wish I could break out of that loop, but with TikTok as the funnel for like the other clips that I just have, I don't think I'm gonna break out of the loop. I think staying left foot is just gonna become the throwaway clip account, I guess, because that's kind of what it's been so far. Like there's some pretty cool tricks on there that I was pretty proud of, but it was more of like, okay, that's a cool new learn for me. It wasn't like that's a new trick for the community kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I totally I respect that, and I just want to say also, just I feel like I just really want to say this. I think the main thing, dude, is like people love watching you play kendama, no matter even what trick it is. I'm speaking for myself here. I love watching you play, no matter what, no matter if it's a completely NBD or if it's just another freestyle line, you know. So I think I just want you to know that like people just love watching you play, and like the more opportunities we can see you play, I think the better for me. I mean, maybe this is a selfish thing, you know. I'm loving watching you play, dude. And if I have to go to TikTok to do it, then I mean, I'm like for me, I'm not on TikTok that much, so I really only see you on Instagram. So yeah, regardless of the trick, I just love watching you the play style. So take that for what it's worth. I think a lot of people will feel the same, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. Yeah, just to
Thank you. I think for me, it's also like the filming of the trick as well.
yeah.
I want to make sure that it looks good, and that's something that like when I started filming with Adrian a couple years ago, it's kind of hard looking through my feed. Seems like this 4K clip, perfectly framed, audio, everything, and then you got the next one where it's like 30 frames filmed on like a microwave in my kitchen.
Yeah, in your kitchen.
So I've kind of become picky about that, but me and Fabian have started filming more often. So I think I'll start posting a bit more consistently of just like flow lines. Like I love Yasu's posts where it's just like 2 minutes of freestyling. Like that's so awesome. It makes me want to like stand up and play.
Yeah.
So if I can do that for someone else that I haven't thought about it that way, then I probably will end up starting to post more often.
Yeah. I feel like people have the same feelings about your clips, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, but I understand your thought process behind it. The one last question we're going to touch on, Ricky Kendama.
He created me this Ken actually.
Oh, no way. Okay. Yeah. He says, who's Miguel's rivals and favorite players and pros to watch?
I don't know if I have any official rivals. I think if I have anything close to a rival, it's Nate. I think Nate is right up there with me. I really want to face him again. I'm pretty sure he's going to NACO. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we've gone back and forth. All of our matches that we've ever played have been pretty close. It's only been like 3 or 4 of them, I want to say, with 3 of them being in open. I think we're 50-50 right now. So I think he's the closest. I love watching Alex Mitchell play. So I'm not gonna call him a rival, but like I love watching him play and I love competing against him. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to face him again. He's so good. It's so special, and it's so fun at the same time. Knowing that he's that insanely good, and like I'm up there competing against him with the potential to beat him. Like
Yeah.
I haven't competed against you guys, but I'd love to compete against you guys. There's so many players that I want to compete against, especially like in freestyle. I feel like I almost do better with the pressure of someone else landing crazy tricks. And that's something that I want to like test out. I'd also want to go into like different types of freestyles as well. I feel like mine is just kind of spamming, not necessarily mid tricks, but tricks that I can get with relatively low to no difficulty. Whereas Takuya, like the EKC clip where he lands, it's like 3 tricks in that single run, but they're just unreal. Like I want to go against someone like that to kind of see how I would match up against it, against the pressure. I might do awful, and I might start doing like harder tricks on my freestyle runs. That's something that I don't really know what I'm gonna do until I'm actually put in that situation.
Right.
There's been a lot of times where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this trick, this trick, this trick, this trick, and then I have a great freestyle run that had none of those tricks.
Yeah.
So it's I really don't know what I do, but I want to face people like Takuya, Maharu, Ryoga, all the Japanese players. I don't think I'm intimidated by anyone anymore, but I also haven't seen Takuya play in person, so it's like it's still up in the air. I'd love to go against them. I'm not sure how well I do, but like I want to face people that are better than me.
Yeah. I think the intimidation factor. Yeah, I think it's an interesting, it's a good topic. All right, so you said that you're not intimidated by anybody anymore.
Not really, no. I am intimidated for like, or not necessarily intimidated, but like when I go against Casey, specifically at Windy, he beat me first, and then I beat him and he beat for third, and like we got stunt chug fast, and I know he has that on lock. Like I don't think he missed. And he got that point on me. I think it was both time, and I know that I don't have it anywhere near as good as him. That's one of the tricks where I landed 3 times in a row and I'm gone. I'd rather focus on something else. And it's moments like that where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend that I lost a point already, and I'm gonna just give it a go already. If I fuck up, I fuck up. It's not gonna affect me whatsoever. But I know that I should focus on improving these tricks. But it's more of a intimidation of not even necessarily intimidation, but it's like, okay, damn, I lost a point. It's not really like, oh, I'm against Casey. Casey has this trick, this trick, this trick. If he pulls all 3 of these in a row, I'm done for. Like the probability of that happening is pretty low, and the fact that like the probability of him landing all those and me missing all of them is just pretty low as well. It's really more of a mindset thing where like I've gone to the point where we've gone to so many competitions that compete against so many people that like let's say if I'm going against someone new and I've never faced them, but I've beat someone who's beat them before, then I have that in the back of my mind, like, okay, I know that we're on either a similar level or one of us is just very, very like the gap is not there. That's what I'm trying to say.
I see.
It's nothing to be worried about. Especially now that I beat players like Alex Mitchell at events. Sure, I didn't win, but I beat him in like individual matches, and I think that's really helped me in my confidence.
Yeah, man. Well, it's awesome to hear that from you, who you're inspired by, who you're looking forward to facing in the future, and hearing about Nate as your rival. That's the cool. That's funny. I know you guys were going pretty talking a lot of crap to each other about the border. So
oh yeah, all
you
the
guys actually
time.
played each other too. So so that was cool to watch. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing maybe a potential rematch at NACO and seeing you continue to crush, dude. Those were all the questions for on our end. Is there anything else you wanna make sure you touch on before we wrap it up?
I don't think there's any topics. I'm sure there's going to be some where like I end up the call and then immediately like, oh, I should have talked about this, this, and this. But I don't know. I think my final words are like it's never that serious when you're competing. No one's gonna remember you as a dude who got like 3-0'd. No one's gonna care if you miss a pin. It happens to everyone. No one's even gonna care if you like don't hit any tricks in freestyle, no matter what skill level you're at. Sure, if you're like one of you guys, and they're gonna be like, okay, that's a little weird, but I'm sure like there's something else going on. They're not gonna be at the next event saying like, okay, Zack missed everything last time. Zack's gonna totally get destroyed this time. Like they know that you're gonna come back and you're gonna be better, or you're gonna be just as good as you were before. Like flukes happen, and it's all right. It's okay to get nervous. It's okay to lose. I think I'm just trying to cope with the fact that this ATLO is gonna be really hard, and I might lose my streak. but I know that at the end of the day, it's not that serious. I can always restart the streak. I know that I'll have the time now that I'm about to graduate college.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'll be able to get back on. But yeah, it's okay to lose. It's okay to get nervous. These things happen to everyone. People, like, I'm sure you guys get nervous sometimes, and you're able to just manage it really well. Everyone's got their own coping mechanisms, and it's just a matter of finding out what works for you. Some of the advice that I gave in this video might not work for everyone, and it's sometimes it might just be up to you to experience these things without having anything in your mind, and then realizing, okay, this is what made me nervous. This is what I could do to improve next time.
Right.
Exactly. Just figuring out what works well for you. I mean, you in this conversation, you share what works well for you, and that's just it's fact for you, and may or may not work for somebody else. But I think the main thing, also, I think Miguel's trying to drive home here is just like keep coming back, continue to try. It's not just going to happen, like we said, in the first time. Like, even if it goes bad once, you can definitely turn it around the next time, third time, fourth time. Just keep coming back, and competing is a fantastic experience. And you're only get better by continuing to do it no matter what.
The faster you fail, the faster you learn.
Yeah.
I think it's a great phrase to live by when it comes to like improving not only kendama but in every other aspect of your life.
Yeah. I think if I stopped when I first did bad at a comp, I would have I only would have lasted one comp in. I lost in the first round of an intermediate speed ladder 12 years ago. So
on that topic, I guess it's kind of like a different thing, but the first ever kind of like competition I competed in was a freestyle, or no, it was intermediate speed ladder, and the trick was jumping jack, and I didn't know what it was, but it turns out it was just straight up jumping jack, so people would know that you're in the second to last trick. So I ended up losing because I didn't know you're supposed to do an actual jumping jack. It's like stuff like that. I didn't let it stop me. I didn't get anywhere near getting that close to winning for like a year after. But once I was able to, like, I started winning consistently. Like, I think every Sunday I won a kendama syndicate. I was able to kind of carry that through. And then, sure, I was podium list for like 8 years, but after that, I was able to get back on it, start podiuming at events, and then eventually started winning them too.
yeah. Keep coming back, guys. Keep coming back. Keep trying. It's only gonna get better.
Thank you guys for having me, though. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It's always a pleasure talking to you, dude. Love your energy so much, and cannot wait to see you again next weekend.
Oh yeah, it's already so close. I got to start repping out the list.
Yeah, same. All right, dude. Well, have a great rest of your night, Miguel. Thanks again for coming on, and I'm gonna get this uploaded right now, so you'll be able to.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all for watching too. I appreciate every single one.
Thanks, Miguel.
Yeah.
All right.
All
See
right.
you guys. Take it easy.
Peace.